Hello, hello. I am live for, I believe, the very first time on my personal profile. Although I may have done it, but it was definitely a million years ago if I have. I'm pretty sure I have never gone live on my personal profile. But today I just felt really cold to do it. So here I am. I'm usually live in my group, if I am live. But again, I haven't been live for ages because shit's been going on. So I'm just going to give it a minute. I haven't announced that I'm going live, so there may not be any viewers. And Facebook has totally changed the way that you go live now, so I have no idea. I have no idea if anybody's there or not, but let me know if you are, so that I can see if I can tell if somebody's here. Let me know if you're here. I apologise for the light, it's not very good, but I'm temporarily staying in a barn, and this is basically the amount of light it gets over winter, so I need to invest in some more lighting, which I will do very, very soon. But until then, it's just going to have to be like mysterious, shadowy look going on. Let me know if you are here, so that I can see if this thing is working. I can see the comments now. Just saying Facebook has changed the way that you go live, so, but I'm late to the party, no doubt, because I haven't been live in ages. And as I said, I certainly haven't been live on my personal profile. I don't think ever. So hi and welcome if you're here and seeing me live for the first time. I just felt really, really cold to go live here instead of my group. And as I said, I've not even been live in my group for a while. I've been fairly quiet. I have been fairly quiet for a while. And there's a number of reasons for that. If you followed my profile, you know that this year has been a tough year for me. It has been a year of grief, of loss, of sorrow, of trials, of tribulations, but it's also been a year of breaking down the old ways of being, the old identities, the old really sort of masculine ways of doing things. And I've been on that journey for actually a few years probably, but I really feel that this year has been like, it's been like all coming to a head, all coming to a big point where now I'm really stepping into this new version of me. So, you know, I'm married and I've changed my name. I've moved country, I'm moving house, I'm renovating my farmhouse, which is why I'm staying in a barn at the moment. It's just been renovated. I've handed over my law firm to my partner, my husband, who I still have to get used to saying the word husband. I've handed over my law firm to my husband, who is also a lawyer, who's, you know, been in the business for a while, to run, so that I can focus on what I feel like my soul wants me to do. And that's a mixture of two things. One of them is healing and focusing on healing, whether it's humans, whether it's the planet, whether it's animals. It's all healing, and what's really coming through is emotional trauma healing in order to unlock every area of your life basically, and allow you to feel peace and freedom. So that's one side of it. If you're new to my work, and the other side of it is helping women with money, business, and the law, because I am a lawyer. So that these things are all sort of panning out in the background. This is one of the reasons why I've been quiet, because so much is being birthed in the background. And I've also, as always, been focusing on my own healing. I always focus on my own healing and embodying the lessons and embodying the soul's growth and everything that's coming my way. I focus on that first. I don't just, you know, there's so much information out there, there's so many programs out there, etc. I don't just like consume content and then regurgitate it out to somebody else. Everything is done through the soul. Everything is learnt through my soul, and then I share it, I embody it, I learn it, and then I share it. And that's what feels really good to me and feels really authentic to me. So if I disappear, if I go off, you know, people say you've got to stay consistent in order to run a business. Well, my energy my energy stays consistent, and that's the main thing. But sometimes we have to go and we have to give ourselves the space and time that we need. And you know, moving house and everything, there's just been loads going on. So anyway, I hope that anybody who sees this, whether you're catching the replay or whether you're catching me live now, let me know that you're here. I can see like a comments box, but I can't actually see any comments, so I don't know if anybody has said anything or not, because sometimes it just doesn't work. But I really wanted to talk to you today about soul gifts and soul genius. And I have seen other people talking about this, and I don't look at what they're saying because I don't want to get locked into what anybody else is saying or thinking at this moment. This is coming from me and my experience of it all. So soul gifts, soul mission, all of this, it's like, why are we here? Why are we here? And this question is being asked and raised more than any time before, because it's a time where more and more people are waking up on this planet. And it's not just, if you are somebody who's spiritual and you have woken up, you will realise that when you first woke up and you thought you were spiritual, it's literally nothing compared to now. If you've been on a journey of, like, you know, dark nights of the soul, various things happen in your life, and you feel like you wake up further and further and further and further and go deeper and deeper into this journey. And again, whilst I think I've had 4 dark nights of the soul before this year, and then I've had like several this year now, I have been called to go even deeper into seeing the matrix for what it is, into seeing what's really going on in the world, and seeing how we're starting to see more lights, even though it might not feel like it right now, even though it may feel like the darkness is winning. And that, you know, this battle of souls is being lost. It is not. It's just that all of that is happening in a different dimension, shall we say, and on the 3D layer everything still feels behind, it still feels heavy, but things are shifting. Things absolutely are shifting. And so more and more people who are waking up are feeling that they're called to live more of a life of joy, more of a life that it feels of service, more of a life that feels free. They're less concerned about what people think, or about doing the 9 to 5, or doing the conditioned work that we've always thought we should be doing. And people are starting to lead more of a soul-led life. Now, I remember a few years ago, and all of my life really, thinking, what is my purpose? What is my mission? What is it that I'm meant to be doing? And I spent years and years and years trying to work that out. And I'd go round and round and round in circles, because I always felt like I was meant for more. I knew that I was meant for more. I knew that I was meant to do good on this earth. I knew I was meant to help people. And I knew that whatever I did would be important. Not because from an ego point of view I'm more important than anybody else, and more special than anybody else, or more unique than anybody else. Just that what specifically I needed to do would be important, and therefore I needed to find a way of working out what the bloody hell it was so that I could actually do it. Okay, and I spent years going back and forth, and the truth is that our purpose changes. It does change. Our purpose changes all the time, depending on what it is we're doing, depending on where we are in that moment of our life. So when we're asking the question of what is our purpose, no wonder we feel confused, because it is a constantly evolving thing. You know, we're changing and expanding and growing as individuals. It's a constantly evolving and changing thing. So let me know if this resonates with you. And what became really clear to me is actually that, and you'll have heard this from other people, so it's not a surprise, but you know, if you are on the planet right now, awake, if you are awake on this planet right now, your mission is undoubtedly part of waking people up and spreading your light, sharing your light and spreading your light. But you know, you hear that and you think, yeah, I know that, but what is it specifically I'm meant to do? But that first of all is the purpose, it is the mission on a collective level. So first of all, you know, we have an individual purpose and mission, and we have a collective one as well. So the individual one is to grow, is to expand, is to learn, is to go deeper onto the soul level as to who you are. It is to learn from the past. It is to stop repeating patterns. It is to ascend. It is to ascend. So we have our individual missions, and obviously how we actually go about that, how we actually grow and evolve and experience life, is totally different from individual to individual, because it all depends on what our soul's done so far, what we've contracted to in this life, and our own individual experiences. So that's the individual level. And then we've got the collective level, which, and by the way, I haven't planned any of this. Whilst I had the title, I haven't actually planned what I'm going to say. I'm just talking, so hopefully it all makes sense and it's not like some big rant, and it actually makes sense. So 1 second. So as I was saying, that's the individual side of things. Then we've got the collective side of things, where undoubtedly, again, as I said, if you are awake now and you're wondering what is my mission, it is undoubtedly to help to see light, the Christ consciousness on this planet, in order to help us to ascend, to get rid of the bloody dark, satanic evil that is on this planet, and to create a new earth. We need new systems, we need a new way of doing things, we need a new earth. This isn't about, it is about divine feminine, but it's about a balance of the two energies. It's not about feminism. It's not about, women rule the planet and there's no place for men. Not at all. It is where the divine feminine energy is rising in both men and women at this time, and rising on the planet in order to burn down the old patriarchal ways of doing things, and in order to create this new earth. And I don't know if you can visualize it, but I certainly have visualized it, and it is incredible. The way that it makes you feel is incredible, but it's a question of how do we anchor into that when we're here and all we see and feel is this 3D dark dense energy. Okay, so this comes down now to your specific soul gifts. We've covered the mission both collectively and individually, and that is your purpose. That is like the main vision always. Then you've got your purpose, which changes, because your purpose 1 minute, like mine was to be a lawyer in construction law and to run a business, a law firm. That was my purpose, and it really was my purpose. I really helped people, and I didn't have to worry about money or anything. I didn't have to worry about getting clients in. They just came in through the door. I had referrals after referrals after referrals. I never had to market myself. Why is that? Because I was totally in alignment with my purpose. I was totally using my gifts for what they were meant to be used for at that time, and I was totally in alignment, and I did what felt good, even though it was scary, even though people thought I was mad, because I left. I trained as a barrister initially and cross-qualified as a solicitor, and then I was working in this law firm, and I'd only just cross-qualified as a solicitor, but I've been doing law for longer than that. And I was just starting to work my way up in the firm, etc. And it was a cushy job. I was earning good money, and people thought I was mad because I told the boss where to go because he was awful, and I left. And I left to start my own firm, and people thought I was absolutely mental. And the people at that law firm, the one I just left, were saying, "Oh, when you're struggling, come back because we'll have some consultancy work for you." And I was just like, off you pop, because I am not going to struggle, and even if I was, there's no way I'd be coming back to you. Anyway, what I'm trying to say was, it was totally in alignment with my purpose and my mission, because I had the courage to say, F you, I'm going and doing this thing that my soul wants me to do. And when I did, I was rewarded. I did really well. I've talked about it before. I'm not a massive money person, but I did earn 6 figures plus, and 6 figures profit in the first year. Like, we did that 6 figures in 10 months without trying, without really marketing. I was working hard, but I was working serving people. My focus was on serving clients. That was what I was focused on. I was always focused on serving clients, and the clients came in, the referrals came in, the money came in. Right, this leads me to another point I'm going to make soon. So we've covered that the purpose can change and what the mission is individually and collectively, and this now comes to your gifts, because everybody has a gift, you know, genius. Everybody has their own genius. Everybody has a number of different gifts that you uniquely have been born with. You as a soul carry these gifts. They're your unique signature. It may be your own unique light language. It may be your own certain frequencies, the codings that you carry, templates that you carry, the way that you can activate people. There's certain things that only you have, and this is why you are so important. This is why you are so special. This is why you are so unique. It's not because you're better than anybody else or anybody else is better than you. And you probably feel like other people are better than you. You probably feel like, what am I meant to be doing? I know I'm meant to be doing something, but oh my God, I've seen her on Facebook going live and she's doing this healing and she's incredible. And how can I match up to that? But the reality is that they're just more practiced or more confident than you, or they've managed to tap into and tune into their individual gifts. Okay, so you have this inside of you, whether you think, oh my God, no I don't, you bloody do. Okay, you do. You have these gifts. You have these special templates or codings that only you have. Some people have a crossover in gifts because, of course, like if we were reliant on one person to do one thing, like literally that, and they hadn't woken up yet, we'd be fucked as a planet. So sometimes there are crossover in gifts, but how it's done is different. Everybody's got their own unique signature, and it's these gifts that matter. Because, you know, what happens is when we're thinking about purpose and we're thinking about gifts, we think about who we are from an identity perspective, but on the external layer, right? So the external layer is like, I'm a woman, like I look like a woman, I identify as a woman, I have sexual parts as a woman, identify as a wife, I identify as a sister, as a daughter, I identify as a lawyer, as a trained lawyer, as a business owner, a businesswoman, as a healer. You know, I identify as these things on the external layer. But that isn't who I am. That isn't who my gifts. They could change at any moment, couldn't they? Like I've just said, like I'm not doing the same law as I was doing. I'm now doing something slightly different. Well, a lot different. So, you know, our external identity shifts and changes. But it's the internal identity which never changes. That's who we are at our core. That internal identity, which includes these soul gifts, it doesn't matter how you put them out into the world, they are still your gifts. Do you see what I'm saying? So talking about my gifts are like I'm psychic, like I'm really claircognizant. That's like the key one, where information just comes and is downloaded into me and I know it, and I feel like I've seen it on a movie screen, but I haven't actually physically seen it. Sometimes I'll get the visions, you know, the clairvoyance. Sometimes I will, very infrequently some clairaudience, but the claircognizance is a thing, but also the feeling, the empathic. I'm very intuitive and I'm very empathic and very, very sensitive, and I really feel other people's stuff, particularly emotions. So that they're my gifts. I'm also multidimensional. I absolutely love doing loads of different things, you know. So you can see there are other ones as well, right? So I've just been live, not live, but I did a video and shared it on my stories when I was in the forest, and I could see the earth pulsing and I could see the frequencies changing in the ground, and I could literally just use my energy to, like, it's almost like picking up the ground as a carpet and seeing underneath, like, the void. Like, this is like peeling the matrix up, right? So this is the sort of stuff that I could do as a child, but I'd lost it because I was too sensitive. I felt really overwhelmed with these gifts, because I could always see energy. I remember that. But I was so empathic. I was soaking up everybody else's stuff and all the different emotions, and I didn't even know how to deal with my own emotions, let alone everybody else's. So I was overwhelmed, too sensitive, struggling. I didn't feel like I'd fit in. I was bullied at school and all of that. And this is not like a pity party. I'm just trying to explain that I shut down my gifts. I shut it all down because I couldn't cope with it, and I was completely overwhelmed. And so instead of being the really feminine, flowy fairy that I was when I was a child, I started to focus on studying and studying hard. I decided that I needed a proper career, and I was going to go into law, and I was going to be really majorly successful, and I was going to focus on money, and I was going to focus on doing things and hustle. And I've told this story before, but I hustled, I worked really, really hard, and I also earned really good money. But I also was super unhappy. I got married and got divorced really young. I had bulimia. I had IBS. I had binge drinking problems and binge eating problems. All this stuff that I was doing to numb myself. I was living a really toxic lifestyle, and I was doing it to numb everything. I didn't want to feel anything, but I didn't feel any good, as well as I didn't feel any bad. So I spent years and years and years unearthing this and uncovering it all so that I can remember who I truly am, step really truly into my own feminine and my own gifts, and this is what's coming out. But as I say, and you may resonate with some of that, how it feels overwhelming and you don't know how to deal with these gifts, and you feel like nobody else will understand you, so you end up just pushing them down and not actually using them. But we all have these gifts. So now, in terms of the purpose, the purpose is almost the vessel that is allowing you to get your soul gifts out into the world in order to be able to serve the mission being the light on the planet and seeding this light consciousness on the planet, helping humanity, animals, the earth, Mother Nature, etc. to heal. So it doesn't matter what your purpose is. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher, if you're a lawyer or a judge, if you're a doctor, if you're a coach, a healer, a therapist, if you're a bin man, if you're a cleaner. It doesn't matter what your purpose is, i.e. the vessel that allows you to get those gifts out into the world, as long as you are getting those gifts out into the world. That is what matters. The way that you do it is up to you, and it depends on your skill set, your experiences, what feels good to you, what lights you up. Joy is a massive thing here, and following passions. It doesn't mean that you don't work, it just means that you're following what lights you up, and it helps you to anchor then more of your gifts into the world and more of your light into the world, because you feel good. Because when you feel good, you're really high vibe, your energy just feels really, really good and expansive, and that helps other people to feel good and expansive. So it all has that sort of knock-on effect, which is amazing. But the key thing is do you know what these gifts are? Do you recognise what these gifts are? Do you remember what they are? It might be that you've never experienced them. It might be like me, that you experienced them to some degree when you were younger and then switched them off. Or it might be that you've no idea what they are and that they're still locked inside of you. Now, one of the reasons, as I've identified earlier, that they may be locked inside of you is that it didn't feel safe when you were younger to have these gifts, because it felt overwhelming or too much, or because you felt too different. So there's that side of things. But there's also past life type stuff and ancestral stuff that can come up, woundings and patterns, where we've shared our gifts in the past, we've been open, we've been healers, we've just shared these gifts in some way in the past, and there's been consequences. It's gone really wrong somewhere. So it might have been witches burning. It may have been that the gifts didn't go as well as you hoped, and that there were consequences as a result. And so you fear these gifts. Many a time with both myself and clients, one of the main reasons why they're unable to tap into their gifts before they've obviously done the work with me is that their power was too great, and now they fear their own power. So, you know, we've got these amazing light workers that are really desperately needed on the planet, and we desperately need them to use their gifts at this time. But they've just got all this fear inside of them, whether it's on the ancestral layer or whether it's from previous lifetimes. And the soul remembers this, you know, this is all embedded in your coding, in your DNA, in the receptors in your brain, you know, on the cellular level. All of these patterns, these wounds, these old programs, these old codings are all trapped inside of us. And so you may think, well, consciously I've done loads of work on myself and my mindset, but bearing in mind that mindset and conscious work is only about 5% of actually who you are, and around 95% is subconscious, that you can't necessarily remember and is just embedded in you. We have to be able to clear out and go through all of this stuff in order to wake up these dormant cores, so you can remember what these gifts are, because they are absolutely needed. We really, really do need them on this at this time. So, you know, you may know your purpose, you may know that the mission is generally, I need to help bring light onto the planet. But what about your unique gifts? What about your unique genius? What does that look like? And, you know, I'm not talking about am I really good at making money and teaching money, right? And I love money, don't get me wrong, I love money, I've made money, I continue to make money, I love it. It keeps me secure, you know, it allows me to do what I want with my life. I posted yesterday about how free life has been. You know, I love it, and there's nothing wrong with making it. There absolutely isn't, because in the hands of the right people, remembering always that money amplifies who you are, okay, and who you are being. In the hands of the right people, money is amazing, because it can do so much for ourselves, our families, and the world. We can do so much with it. Money is unequally distributed right now in the hands of bad people, okay? So we want it in the hands of good people who are creating new systems, building new systems, you know, actually seeding Christ consciousness on the earth. And I follow people who teach about money, who are all about the Christ consciousness and doing good in the world, and that's really good, and that's exactly what I want to see. But what I see a lot of, and you know, you can agree with me or not, is people chasing the $1 million year. I am so sick to fucking death of seeing people chasing the $1 million year. When I see people posting about how well they're doing financially, that's fine. That's fine. It's not about posting how well you're doing financially. But what I want to know is, what are you doing with it? You know, what are you doing with it? Are you helping families that can't put, you know, Christmas dinner on the table this year? Are you giving up some of your time to help a certain charity? If you are a healer, are you working with the light grids on the earth? Are you helping? Is part of your mission helping to assist the earth in some way, even though there's no exchange for money directly, because, you know, I've been shown that I need to do more work with the planet, and I need to do more work with light grids, and I need to do more work with animals. And, you know, there's no like, oh, but if I do that work, who's going to pay me? Because a dog can't pay me money, or, you know, a cow can't pay me money, or that tree can't pay me money. It's not about that. The focus is on, what is my soul calling me to do? How am I needed on the planet right now? And there is always an exchange of abundance, but it comes from God. Yeah, money doesn't necessarily come directly from a client. Money comes from God, comes from the divine, comes from the universe. And when we're sharing our gifts, when we're directly in alignment with our divine mission, and we are actually sharing our gifts, and we are actually showing up and doing what it is that our soul is calling us to do in order to assist humanity at this time, we will receive abundance, we will receive money, we will receive freedom and peace, etc., because we're in alignment with that mission. It will happen naturally, and it may come from different sources, but that's okay. We shouldn't be, you know, cutting ourselves off from receiving from these different sources. So I mean, this isn't about, like, this conversation is not about money. This is about our soul gifts. But I just want to just add there that, you know, and I've done this, I get caught in this trap sometimes still, where you're thinking about, oh, you know, I've got this bill to pay, or, oh, you know, I do need some more money, or it would be nice to earn more money because I really want this thing. Of course, like, we have desires, and, you know, I want us to have desires. But when we focus on the desire, and actually, you know, people talk about desires as a good thing. Like, don't focus on what you need, focus on your desires. Desire is actually a very low vibrational frequency. If you look at the scale of emotions in terms of frequency, desire is actually very low down, towards fear, towards guilt, towards shame. Because desire, as much as you see it as it's better than a need, and yes, of course, it is better than a need, right? Of course it's better than a need. But desire is still, from an energy perspective, showing you what you've not got yet. It's still showing, from an energy perspective, the lack, right? It's still showing you the lack. Because it's a desire, that the very thing of it shows that it's something that you're desiring, it's something that you're wanting, but it's a lack, right? So focusing on your desires is not necessarily going to help you get the thing that you want, right? But focusing on your divine mission, focusing on your gifts, focusing on what lights your soul the F up, focusing on all these things, and service will, right? So we shouldn't be, even if you, and I know it's hard when you're in a lack place, but focusing on, I need more money, or I want $1 million a year, or whatever, is not, I'm saying, the right way of going about it. What we need to be doing is focusing on how we can show up today to serve humanity. How can we align to our mission? How can we access our true gifts? Now, going back to the point around gifts, because I'm going away from the money conversation now, going back to the gifts are not just, I can do healing. We've all got healing inside of us. We've all got the ability to heal inside of us, heal ourselves and others. We've all got that ability. It's deeper than that. It is about the codes and the templates that we are carrying, as I mentioned, that are the frequencies of the activations that the abilities that you've got that's different from everybody else. And it might be the ability to change the crystalline structure of water. I have got a client who is capable of doing that. We've tapped into her soul gifts. She can communicate with whales and dolphins and all creatures under the sea, and she has the ability to change the crystalline structure of water. Now, do you know, and I mean to change it into like healing water, like do you actually understand how amazing that is? She does not understand how amazing she is. If she watches this, she'll be like, oh my god, this is meant to me. How freaking amazing is that? Like, that is her power, that is her gift. And I don't really want to stop. It's up to her, but I really don't want to stop, like, helping her get to the point where she is confident about doing that, because that is her freaking gift. How bloody amazing is that? It's incredible. It's incredible. You may have other gifts, like dealing with and destroying reptilian, interfaces. You may have the ability to change DNA. You may have the ability to teach, to teach things in a way that people really grasp and understand. You may be able to play with the energy. That's one thing I can do. An alchemist with the energy. I can literally, almost like, if you think of, when kids are doing the blowing bubbles, and it's like a bubble. I can literally, when I'm in the right frame of mind, I can literally get a bubble like that, and I can wrap it around things, and I can play with the frequency, and I can expand the energy, right? So we're going into that detail. That's what I'm talking about, that level of detail. Do you know specifically what those gifts are? And it doesn't matter whether, as I say, you're a doctor, you're a teacher, you're a lawyer, you're a coach, you're a healer, you're a counsellor. It doesn't matter. But if you've got these gifts inside of you, and you can use these gifts to help change the planet, create change, build new systems. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for men and women. I've never actually worked with a man yet. I've had conversations with men, but it would be amazing, who are ready to embrace these gifts, to build new systems, to create change on the planet, to do what their soul came here to do. And if you are watching this video, and even if you're not, if you're awake at all at this time, if you've got friends who haven't seen this and you think, oh my god, they need to see it, then share it with them. Tag them into the video. If they are awake, and that's it, if they're here and they're awake, then they're meant to see light. They're meant to see Christ consciousness into this planet. They are meant to help build a new earth. And if this is resonating with you, if you're a pioneer, a trailblazer in any way, who can see through the fake shit, bullshit spirituality, I'm sorry, but there's so much fake lack of integrity out there at the moment, and there's so much fake bullshit spirituality. You know, we need to see past that. We need to see that it isn't all love and light, and that there is dark, and there is evil, and there is difficulty. But if we come together and remember who we are and remember our gifts, then we can defeat it, and we can anchor this new earth. And that is exactly what we need to be doing. So, you know, I've got so much that I want to say, but I'm going to break it down into a number of different lives. I'm going to talk about modalities, learning healing modalities and stuff, and doing programs. I'm going to talk about that at some point. But I just want you to remember that how unique and how special you are, and that if you don't know what these gifts are, it is time to start delving deeper, whether you do that by journaling, meditation, or whatever. If you want help with that, then feel free to let me know. I do have the Discover Your Divine Purpose Blueprint course coming up, which is specifically to help people delve into these gifts. And I was shown that I needed to put this course on a few months ago, and actually scheduled it for November. And I was shown that it may only be a small number of people, and that's absolutely fine, because it's whoever it's meant to help. I've got 4 or 5 women in there at the moment. I think it's 4 actually. And we're starting in a few days' time. So if that appeals, or you want to know more information about that, then let me know, because obviously we'll help you. And my programs are not just learning information. They're practical. They're very practical. So we're going to be healing and unblocking and clearing anything that's stopping you from actually accessing your gifts. And then once we've accessed your gifts, you're going to learn which guides, you know, is it Jesus, is it Mother Mary, is it Mother Magdalene, is it Isis, is it, you know, which guides are actually there to help you and assist you with your specific gifts and templates. So we start to look at that as well, and you can start to feel into who it is that is coming to assist you, so that you can tap into them and ask them to help you with accessing these gifts and actually putting them out into the planet. But then also you get to practice. So you're actually going to practice working with each other using these gifts, right? So it's quite a practical course, as you can see. But anyway, just that I'm not here to talk about that specifically. If that sounds like something you may be interested in, let me know. But I just wanted to finish on this point. And I'm looking down here because I did write a little message to remember to say. So I had a conversation with a friend a couple of days ago, and she said, can we have a call? And I'm not going to go into detail about it, but she said, can we have a chat? And she was really visibly upset, and she said, everything feels so dark. What can I do? What can we do? I can't just sit here and do nothing. What can I do? Right? So if you're thinking and feeling that, this is my advice. And everybody may feel differently, but this is my advice. Number 1, heal. Number 1 is heal and look after yourself. And we talk all the time about filling up our cups. We talk all the time about resting and having nice bubble baths or doing a bit of journaling. But I mean deeper than that. I mean really, truly deeper than that. I mean really tune into nature, like do what I did this morning and tune into the trees. And really just like stand there in the nature. I mean really heal deeply. Every part of you that's afraid, every part of you that feels anxious, every part of you that feels that you're not good enough, every part of you that feels that you're unworthy, every part of you that feels rejected or unaccepted, or every part of you that doesn't accept yourself, every part of you that feels unlovable, every part of you that feels guilt, shame, rejection, regrets, resentments, anger. Heal it all, because the more you heal it, the more that you will be able to help others, and the more that you can help others, obviously the better, because we can all then begin to heal and start to anchor this light. So if you're an emotional wreck, and it's absolutely fine to be so, I'm not dismissing it at all, like, allow yourself to be an emotional wreck, allow yourself to process the feelings that you're feeling. It is valid, your feelings are completely valid. If you feel like everything's gone to shit, like that is completely valid. I get it, I really do. But once you've processed it, you know, allow the feelings to go past. Don't try and force anything. Like, that's something that I see, like, I must do something, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do that? No, stop. Breathe. Stop. Pause. Do some deep breathing. Go and do something entirely the opposite of what you want to do. Relax. Paint. Draw. Play games with the kids. Read books. Go to the cinema. Walk in the nature. You know, even if you really don't feel like it, that's exactly what you need to do, because you're operating from an external fear-based frequency, and we need to get you back into an internal, loving, peaceful, soul-led frequency. So that is number one. Do that and begin to heal all of those parts of you. So there is no fear. There is no fear. All there is courage and confidence in you, who you are and your abilities and what you came here to do. And number two is serve. Serve people, help people in whatever way feels good, in whatever way comes natural, in whatever way comes across your door. Serve. When we're in service, it puts us back into the heart-based, you know, the heart space and the soul space. And it takes us away from fear and from the lack feelings, because we feel good, because we're serving, we're helping, we're doing things we're naturally meant to do. Okay? So I hope that's helpful. I really do hope that's helpful. Please do comment and let me know what you think about this live, whether it resonates with you. And yeah, let me know if you were catching the replay. As I said, feel free to share it with friends or tag friends into this who you think really need to hear it. And it just seems like it's going darker and darker. I need to sort out the lights. But as I said, thank you for watching this video, and I am going to go off now and I'm going to go and do some chilling. And I will be live again. As I said, I really feel called to talk about a few different things, so I will be live again soon. Alright, sending you so much love. Bye for now.